Okay, so we have two pieces of news that I wanted to talk about that relate to the ideas we spoke about in yesterday's two Vancouver Canucks related videos. First off, we're talking about Josh Leivo once again, and second off, we're talking about Brandon Sutter once again. Yesterday we spoke about Leivo because he signed with the Calgary Flames. It was an $875,000 average annual value contract, and that news came immediately after it was reported that the Vancouver Canucks were also involved in trying to get Leivo back. Well, take a look at this tweet over here from Ben Kuzma earlier today. Jim Benning of the Vancouver Canucks offered UFA right-winger Josh Leivo a similar deal to the one-year $875,000 contract he signed with the Calgary Flames on Saturday. Leivo had 19 points in 36 games last season before suffering a fractured kneecap. So, pretty much, the Vancouver Canucks offered Leivo the same amount of money. And he said, nah, I'm going to Calgary. So, first off, a lot of people were speculating, okay, why is it that a guy who was reportedly willing to come back to Vancouver took the other guy's deal, took the same amount of money to go to a different city that was not the city that he said he wanted to return to? Could money be the only influence there? And I saw a lot of people saying, okay, it kind of makes sense because, let's face it, if you were a free agent forward who has something to prove, who has a chip on his shoulder for not playing the past 10 months, and who just needs to get back out there and prove himself, would you rather go to the Vancouver Canucks on a one-year deal or the Calgary Flames on a one-year deal? I think, just personally, in my own opinion, that it would be tougher to become a legit NHL regular with the Vancouver Canucks than it would be with the Calgary Flames. I think the Flames are in a spot where they have a lot more spots open for guys to go in there and snag up, but with the Vancouver Canucks having absolutely just no flexibility with their bottom six, having those guys, Beagle, Sutter, Mott, Roussel, all locked in there, it would be tougher for a guy like Josh Leivo to come in here and prove himself as a player who is still NHL caliber. So, from that perspective, even though the Canucks offered him the same amount of money, it does make sense. Now, secondly, we're talking about Brandon Sutter because also from Ben Kuzma, here's a quote from Jim Benning as to why they did not specifically buy out Brandon Sutter. We have to be careful that we take everything into consideration before we start buying people out. He kills penalties, and he plays a matchup role, and losing him would be a big void in the room. So, pretty much what we spoke about yesterday is indeed the case here. The Vancouver Canucks are looking towards the long-term future, and even though a Brandon Sutter buyout would help them next season, it would actually kind of screw them over because, hey, the contract would go on for 2 more years rather than 1, and sure, you're paying a lesser amount, but do you really want to have some extra money that you don't need to be paying when you're going to give Petey and Hughes their extensions? So, there's a bigger argument at stake here. It's short-term versus long-term. At the short-term, it looks like the Vancouver Canucks are open with the idea of somewhat taking a little bit of a step back, but that's a video for another day. So talk to me in the comments what you think about Josh Leivo and Brandon Sutter. Hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.